San Diego on this Wednesday early evening to see who will secure the final spot in the NIT semifinals. Winner advancing to Madison Square Garden in New York City, and another sellout at Viejas Arena to see if the Mountain West Conference regular season champs can get to the Garden, much like they did back in 2009. But fourth-seeded Georgia Tech stands in their way. Yellow Jackets making the most of their first postseason appearance since 2010. And as you see the bracket, the winner faces George Washington, who just knocked off Florida in the semis next Tuesday night. Steve Quish, Sean Farnham with you. The story in this one, the year of the senior theme applies firmly here in the semifinals. Both squads have a good one here tonight, Sean.
Well, Marcus George's Hunt moved over to the point guard position. His numbers haven't dropped off as far as production points per game, but it certainly has improved the defense. And then Winston Shepard, maybe his best back-to-back games he's ever played in his career, had the triple-double in the opener of the NIT. And the big key for the NIT is always rallying yourself ready to play. And Shepard actually called Steve Fisher after finding out they didn't get in the selection show and going home. He said, hey, you got to buy in. Otherwise, let's not do this. We're not going in halfway. And he told his coach, not only am I going to be ready to play, but my teammates are going to be right there ready with me. And so far, they have been for the Aztecs.
Yeah, all the players bought in, the fans as well. They expect back-to-back NIT sellouts. Another 12,414 here on what is called the Mesa. San Diego State wins the opening tip there in white. Georgia Tech will be in blue with a gold trim. And here's Winston Shepard coming off the double-double. He opened up NIT play with a triple-double against IPFW. Malik Pope, the spin move, and he comes up short.
Yeah, left that one short. They want to get downhill on Georgia Tech. They don't want to settle for the perimeter shot, as every team does. They try to pack the paint, limit offensive rebounds. That's going to be key for Georgia Tech.
San Diego State coming off a big win against Washington, where they scored 93 points 2 nights ago. But unlike Washington, Georgia Tech's going to take their own sweet time under this man, Brian Gregory, in his 5th season, who we understand is a pretty good ticket broker as well. Yeah. Correct?
We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I think right now for him and his focus on his team, there's been a lot of conversation about Coach Gregory and his position at Georgia Tech. And when I asked him about it, he said, you know what, I've blocked all the stuff going around and all the newspaper articles and anything that people are saying, and I focused on my group, and I've given my full attention to my group, and it shows with their vast improvement over the course of this season.
Nick Jacobs, the Alabama transfer, just to the left of the lane with his left hand.
Think about this, Georgia Tech was 2-8 in ACC play. 2-8. They could have spiraled out of control. Instead, they rallied to go 6-2 down the stretch.
Shot from 3 off the mark by Malik Pope. He's a 6'10 sophomore from Sacramento.
Opportunity getting, they got a great road win against South Carolina. If they win today, they obviously go to Madison Square Garden.
Georgia Tech coming off that win on the road against South Carolina. That shot is short, rebounded by Pope. Trey Kell, sophomore 2-guard, kick in the corner. And Pope on the drive, and they're calling it close to the vest as Charles Mitchell picks up the game's first foul. There's Steve Fisher. 11 straight 20-win seasons here for San Diego State. His 5th NIT appearance in 17 seasons on the job.
And before I worked at ESPN, I worked at another network that consistently covered this program. And what he's been able to do in building it to where they're selling out games for the NIT, packing this place, one of the best student sections in all of college basketball. And to go with that, a lot of wins.
Spot up 3, Trey Kelly at 16 points against Washington, and that fires up the sellout crowd. Marcus George's Hunt streaking back down. He'll pull up over Kell, misfire, and there's a foul. And they're going to get Skylar Spencer for his first of the game, the 6'10 senior from Los Angeles, California.
So if you're wearing jersey number 0, Mitchell didn't like the call down here. Spencer doesn't like the call down there. Nevertheless, both bigs have to stay out of foul trouble. And they're important for both teams. For Mitchell, he's a great offensive rebounder. Even though he doesn't score a lot with his back to the basket, they will play through him on the block.
Georgia Tech 21-14. There's an offensive rebound. That's what they do better than anybody else, maybe down in the Deep South. They'll get 13 of those a game, and Mitchell had one there before they turned it over.
He's got to be able to complete that, though, and that's where the length of Spencer comes into play. A very good shot blocker. In fact, over his career, Skylar Spencer has more blocked shots than he does fouls in his 4 years here at San Diego State.
Shepard in the lane. Shepard, step back jumper, won't get it to go, and the rebound to Mitchell.
Playing with it too much. He got there, he should have just elevated up over the top.
Speaking of elevation, and that's a deep 2 from the wing left by Adam Smith, senior from Jonesboro, Georgia.
Good start to the game for Georgia Tech. And a couple of good looks from the outside. They've had some offensive rebounds. I think there's much to feel confident about in the early stages of this game.
Expected to be a low-scoring game. We talked about the Aztecs scoring 93 against Washington, a postseason single game high for them. And Trey Kell has made yet another 3. He's got all the offense for San Diego State.
Well, Kell so much improved from beyond the arc, plus almost 16% from where he was a season ago.
They feed the post in. Mitchell, nice spin moving with the left hand, gets it to go down. They got a lot of good rim protectors here for San Diego State, a team that blocks 5.5 shots per game, which led the Mountain West Conference.
Well, Mitchell did, though, as he felt where Spencer was, spun right off of him without dribbling. He didn't take any wasted movement. The quick release, you don't have to jump high to be able to score, but you need to create the angle.
Mitchell's a Maryland transfer. Kell wants more. Off the glass, the rebound, Shepard, and he gets the putback.
So important. San Diego State, when they score, they will extend out a little bit of pressure. Sometimes it's a little mock pressure that's just trying to get you to go side to side and slow you down. Other times they're trying to turn you over.
Here's Georgia Tech back on the attack. Open up NIT play with a home win over Houston, then went to South Carolina and took down a #1 seed rather easily, 83-66. Shot clock under 10. The other night, Washington would have had 3 shots by now, and there's Smith off the mark. But when you got such good offensive rebounders, you can do it. Mitchell secured the board, but couldn't get it up in time. Shot clock violation, and a turnover for Georgia Tech. First time out on the floor. You can hear the sellout crowd. They're into it. Aztecs by 2.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NIT is brought to you by the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event. Now through March 31st, see your Lexus dealer. And Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event is on, with extraordinary offers on the Visionary LS, the generously appointed ES, and the new 8-passenger LX. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Why am I a fan of Applebee's Fan Favorites Quesadilla Burger?
It's a burger inside a quesadilla.
Genius.
Hot,
Melty cheese.
fresh, pico de gallo.
Whoa. Mind blown.
Everyone's a fan with Applebee's 2 for $20 Fan Favorites.
Every auto insurance policy has a number. But not every insurance company understands the life behind it. Those who have served our nation have earned the very best service in return. USAA. We know what it means to serve. Get an auto insurance quote and see why 92% of our members plan to stay for life.
Turns out lemon juice doesn't cure pink eye.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
That's how I am.
Redhead Fred, ultra rare. I collect these too.
No, these are for my dog because he can never decide which one he wants till he gets home. So.
American Express presents the Blue Cash Everyday Card with no annual fee. Cash back on purchases.
My only concern is that this is where we put food.
A dog's foot is cleaner than a human's mouth. That's what they say.
Is it?
Cleaner than my mouth.
Backed by the service and security of American Express.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event is on, with extraordinary offers on the exhilarating IS, the thrilling GS, and the powerful RC Coupe. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Welcome back to San Diego. Both teams shooting sub 40%. They're 3 out of 8 from the floor, but the 2 seed here in the NIT quarterfinals, San Diego State with an 8-6 lead over the 4 seed Georgia Tech. Alongside Sean Farnham, I'm Steve Quist. Welcome inside the Madhouse on Mesa is what they call it, where this team has won a ton of ball games the last few years.
Well, I think you look back at when did this program come to national prominence, because now San Diego State is a known program across the nation. And I think you go back to one game in particular. I called it. It was up in Spokane when they knocked off Gonzaga inside the kennel. Kawhi Leonard, a big output. And since that 2010-2011 season, you've got 6 straight 20-plus win seasons, 5 NCAA appearances. But I really trace it back to that team. And they had some good players beforehand for Steve Fisher. But that was the one that took this program to another level. And I really thought they should have been in the NCAA tournament. But they are playing with a great sense of purpose and pride. And that's one of the things that this entire coaching staff, Dutch, who's next in line to be the head coach after Steve Fisher. I mean, this program is not going to skip a beat when he assumes that position, which is going to be still some time from now, because Steve Fisher's got a lot of zest for coaching these kids, being part of this program. And I think that's a big part of what has made San Diego State such an exciting basketball team and such a consistent basketball team.
There's the Arizona transfer, Angelo Chol. He scores about 4 points per game. He's got the bucket, and the lead is 4 for San Diego State. It was 27-9 overall, 3rd straight year with 27 wins or more. Their 11th straight postseason appearance, but missed the NCAA tournament for the first time in 7 years. Lammers got blocked underneath by Cheatham. Chol almost got to it, but good stick-to-itness there by the sophomore from San Antonio, Texas.
You got to realize there's multiple layers of shot blockers. They may not be extremely tall, but they are long and extremely athletic, and a good time for possession there for Georgia Tech to stay with it.
If they're 10th in the NCAA with 5.5 blocks per game, and look at Trey Kell early. Got a couple from the outside. Now he attacks the hoop and gets 2 more.
And you see the press has kind of changed a little bit. They show a little trap. They then back off into their zone.
Trey Kell has 8 of the 12 so far for San Diego State.
Trey Kell, a great product from the local area, and just another representation of the level of recruitment San Diego State has had. Nice spin move baseline.
Kell is the only starter out on the floor right now for Steve Fisher and his San Diego State Aztecs. Here's Hemsley.
Hemsley, a starter early in the season, started game 1 for him. I think he's got a lot of promise. Dealt with a nagging foot injury, but he's the future at the point guard position for the Aztecs.
At 13 points against Washington with 5 assists off the bench. The reverse by Chol got a little ambitious, but an offensive rebound by the freshman Zylan Cheatham. Aztecs with their biggest lead of the night.
And it gets this crowd, this sellout crowd on their feet. I love environments like this. It makes the game so much more enjoyable.
They have bought in. Here's a 3 by Smith. He's one of the better 3-point shooters in the ACC. And a foul on the rebound there by Cheatham.
San Diego State, you know it, it's in the scouting report, but stopping it is a lot more difficult than just reading about it. They want to get in the rim. They want to be down in the paint deep, maintain position, and power through, using their length and athleticism to finish.
James White with the infraction, his first as a 6'8" senior from Jonesboro, Georgia.
You know, you talk about it, you look at 2-3 zone of Boeheim, and they always say, okay, well, you know they're playing a 2-3 zone. Why can't you be effective against it? You know, San Diego State, okay, we know they're not a great shooting team. We got to make sure they don't score in the paint, but yet they consistently score in the paint. It's more difficult to stop than just saying, okay, this is what we need to do. You have to have a commitment and a buy-in. And a tough turnaround for Georgia Tech to fly all the way across the country.
And there is Cheatham in the lane. Oh, they're getting close looks.
You and I could score from that distance, I'm just telling you.
10-2 run for San Diego State. This was not like the atmosphere that Georgia Tech faced against South Carolina 2 nights ago. Out of bounds. Last touch by Nick Jacobs, and it's San Diego State basketball.
Hey, you think about it, they got a great student section. I mean, I drove down from my home. I've been on the road a little bit. The weather, I mean, those scenics were shot today. I mean, Evan, our producer, was out. He's out by the water shooting pictures of boats and everything. And it's been a phenomenal afternoon. A little Chipotle, it was good. It's not good for Georgia Tech right now, though. They got to figure out a way to shore up the interior of their defense. It's a +10 advantage for San Diego State, and so much of that work has been underneath, down low, and the show. Oh, they're loving it.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event is on, with extraordinary offers on the stylish all-new RX and the dynamic NX. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Good morning, baby.
Good morning. Oh, no.
I refuse to let you take away KFC's Nashville hot chicken with its delicious, spicy, smoky flavor.
Well, it was always just a limited time offer, Colonel.
No more Nashville hot chicken, no more Colonel. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's not like you can find another Colonel, right?
Really? I mean, I haven't even been doing it that long.
It's finger-licking good!
E-Trade is all about seizing opportunity. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to go off script. So if I want to go to Jersey and check out Shotzi Tucciarelli's portfolio, what's it to you? Or I'm a Scottish mason whose assets are made of stone, like me heart.
Papa!
You're no son of mine! Or perhaps it's time to seize the day. Don't just see opportunity, seize it!
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event is on, with extraordinary offers on the Visionary LS, the generously appointed ES, and the new 8-passenger LX. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Runs of 8-0 and 12-2 have the homestanding San Diego State Aztecs up by 10 early on. They can also thank the offensive game of Trey Kell. He already has 8 of those 18.
Local product of St. Augustine, same high school at Jelani McCoy, and the late Darrell Russell, who also was a great basketball player, by the way. But Trey Kell getting his work in. He got it going from the outside, and then he's been creative and savvy off the bounce, able to get a piece of the paint and find productivity.
Last year, Kell was the point guard here. Now he's moved back to his traditional 2-guard spot, and he's paying dividends.
Well, I think that's the key. And so often, you know, there's certain guys that will sacrifice production because it's good for the team. And I think that's a little bit of what happened last year. And you take a player and you say, okay, this is what you want to be. We're going to give you a chance to be it. But at the end of the day, you want to bring the very best out of him. And he's much better as a scorer off the ball than he is with the player initiating the offense.
Georgia Tech needs a basket. They're 1 for their last 5 from the floor. Scoring drought is 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Jacobs got it in the post. He was doubled. Now got a good look over Angelo Chol. And Mitchell with another offensive board. And he got hacked as he went up. They're going to get Winston Shepard III with a personal.
Actually, I think they got Jada on.
Hey, Brian Gregory saying, wait, it was 14. Nope, you're right. Zylan Cheatham. Charles Mitchell already has 3 offensive rebounds. Coverage of the Division I Men's Basketball Championship Regional Semifinals begins tomorrow on CBS and TBS at 7 p.m. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com.
And I'll just listen to Miles Simon at halftime of this game, break it all down. He's going to let you know exactly what you can anticipate. I was back in Bristol the other night, sitting there with Miles, former most outstanding player, the 1997 National Championship team for Arizona.
Here's Shrigley. He opened the contest against Washington 2 nights ago, burying 4 consecutive three-pointers.
I thought you were talking about Miles. He hit 4 consecutive three-pointers at one point in time in his career, too.
Several times.
Yeah, but Miles and I, we were talking about all these great matchups. I cannot wait. I mean, the NCAA tournament, what a weekend it was. A lot of great excitement down the stretch. The buzzer beaters, the amazing comeback for Texas A&M. Wisconsin nailing it at the buzzer. Rex Pfluger, a product from right up the street, tipping it in.
Notre Dame. Yeah. That was one of the most wild and entertaining Sundays ever, especially with the way they had staggered the endings of all the games. It was a lot of fun.
If you were back in Bristol with us, Jay Williams and I looked like an N1 mixtape running around our war room, screaming and yelling. A lot of fun, and that's what these guys are trying to get. They're trying to get their moment. They're trying to get to their moment in New York City. And to play in Madison Square Garden, I mean, it's an arena that is storied with just dripping wet tradition of basketball and being the Mecca and the place that you want to go. And for these two programs, they know what lies ahead of them, and that's why you've seen them compete as hard as they have to earn the right to play in tonight's game.
That was the first bucket of the game by Marcus Georges Hunt. He scores 16-7 a game. Who's 7th in the ACC in scoring this year. First bucket came about 9 minutes into the contest. 7-point lead for San Diego State. The freshman Hemsley pulls up for three and banks it in.
Yeah, if you're banking in three-point shots, that's not a good sign if you're Georgia Tech. If you're Steve Fisher, you're loving it.
Lead is 10.
Hemsley was only 1 of 9 over his last 5 games from beyond the arc. I'm not a math guy, but that's not good.
Jacobs doubled in the post again. He's got to get rid of it. Georges Hunt drives in over the shot blocker Spencer and gets it to fall.
What I love is the fact that he is starting to have some open space. And when Marcus Georges Hunt has open space, he can find himself into a rhythm very similar to what we've seen Trey Kell do a couple of times. And now back-to-back possessions, you're starting to see him assert himself a little bit more offensively.
He was third-team All-ACC, second team by the coaches. Shepard right of the lane against Georges Hunt. Gives him the body and the turnover.
Great defense, and here he goes once again to the open floor.
It's Rick Jackson who's in. He splits 2 defenders off the window, and here come the Yellow Jackets.
You and I were talking about it earlier today, the similarities between these teams and where they want to score the basketball. They want to be efficient and productive in the paint.
Georgia Tech averages almost 74 points per game. They're really good on the glass, especially the offensive glass, and that's a blocking foul. And that's going against Josh Heath.
And just a good adjustment in air. Watch Jackson. Dribbles out, hesitation, regathers the ball after deflected out, and then at the other end of the floor, a block, and that's a good call. You know, we've seen that a lot this year where a player dips his shoulder a little bit and usually goes against the offense. I think that time it was very clear. You don't have to have your position, but you can move laterally and maintain position. There was no position to be held there.
Malik Pope. He does have that range in the arsenal, but misfires on his first chance. He'll try a couple more of those. Trust me.
I saw it in the first game of the year against Utah, and he's at his best when he's attacking the rim, man. I know he can do it, but he's much better on the open floor being aggressive into his mid-range game.
This Charles Mitchell is exciting to watch. The 6'8" outgoing senior from Atlanta, Georgia. The Maryland transfer played 2 years for the Turks. Already 5 for him to go along with 5 rebounds. 4-point advantage. Elevating is Hemsley. Offensive board, though, by Malik Pope against Mitchell with a right hand in the lane. It won't fall. And secured in the corner by Mitchell. Smith over the top. But look at how many defenders are there for San Diego State, especially their best on-ball defender in Dakari Allen there.
Well, San Diego State was in a rhythm and flow, scoring in the paint, and now it's Georgia Tech on the attack, tightening things up. 21-17, Aztecs.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event is on, with extraordinary offers on the exhilarating IS, the thrilling GS, and the powerful RC Coupe. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Opening day and night. 7 games, 2 days. Clayton will be there with nasty stuff. Kutch with all 5 tools. And Trout, who knows what he'll do next. Baseball is back, and not a moment too soon. Games all day, April 3rd and 4th on ESPN, and streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app, presented by Scotts.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event is on, with extraordinary offers on the stylish all-new RX and the dynamic NX. This is the pursuit of perfection.
experts choose Goodyear. And everything we learn making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
It's a whole new ball game with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
It is magic.
Experience the ultimate season ticket now at a new lower price.
Unbelievable.
Every punch-out, every rundown,
what a play,
and every walk-off, all at your fingertips. And with MLB.tv included, you can watch nearly 100 live games a week on over 400 supported devices. Don't miss a minute of the action. Follow your favorite team on any screen with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. Order now.
If the action wasn't so great inside this building right now, Sean Farnham, I'd say, what are we doing here in America's finest city? Why are we not out there right now, Hank Tenney?
Stone steps right up their way here at Encinitas, a beautiful place to catch a wave. And of course, it reminds me of the West Coast, which reminds me of this great graphic that we came up with, West Coast storylines. You know, Oregon is a team that's gone under the radar because I think a lot of people nationally haven't stayed up late enough to watch them and know about them. They are a legit #1, and I had them going into the Final Four in my pre-NCAA bracket. I think they're a team to watch. They got Duke tomorrow. Eric McClellan, boy, he has stepped up his game in the right moment for Gonzaga. They've got a great interior presence, but his production on the outside has been huge in their success in the NCAA tournament. And then BYU already getting its invitation to New York City.
McClellan was the West Coast Conference Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, anything you got out of him offensively is a plus for Mark Few.
Well, for Mark Few's team, we talked about their guard play, and early in the season when I saw them in December, they struggled. I mean, their guards were turning the ball over about 20% of the time, possession-wise. Now that they're not turning the ball over, they're freed up to just play, and I think that's been a big reason why you've seen Perkins take a step forward. McClellan obviously has been great, and when you couple that with the inside presence of Sabonis and Wiltshire, that makes Gonzaga now a team that's on the fringe of getting to the Elite Eight. And by the way, last 10 points scored for Georgia Tech have all been in the paint.
They're within 2 now. That was Josh Heath. Played for his dad at South Florida, one of my broadcast partners here at ESPN. In the early going. Look at that. Count it. Spencer is fouled. Oh, Brian Gregory just jumps up and says, well, you got to be kidding me.
Ball gets off the iron, and Spencer goes up and knocks it down. Inadvertent whistle. It's an inadvertent whistle, so they're going to count it, and we're going that way.
All right, so there is no foul.
That's the right call.
Yep.
And I think that's why
Tommy Nunez came over.
He was looking at Brian Gregory going, relax, I got you here. That was an inadvertent whistle.
So there'll be no foul on Quentin Stevens. Inadvertent whistle, no foul. Georgia Tech basketball, and the Yellow Jackets, who made the long trip from Columbia, South Carolina yesterday, have got a 4-point advantage. The good thing is, the early game here on the West Coast, they don't have to go back to Atlanta until tomorrow. They're hoping to go to the Garden after that and a spring break.
A couple places to have some good food.
Yeah, exactly.
After the game tonight. Right down the road here, there's a ton of hotels. I'm sure they're staying at one of them.
It's a win-win situation. They're right on the bay. Mitchell, and he stepped out of bounds, turning it over.
And I'll tell you, Georgia Tech beat a very good South Carolina team. Frank Martin, put this into perspective. Frank Martin won 25 games this year at South Carolina. That ties the school record for most wins in a single season. He now owns that record at Kansas State and South Carolina. Brian Gregory's team to go in there and get that win says a lot about the buy-in and the commitment they've made to their coach to try to get better and to not have this season come to an end.
South Carolina had 5 reserves that did not play due to suspension. A couple of double-figure scores, but don't take anything away from Georgia Tech to go in there and win 83-66 to get here. Here's Lammers on a great pass from Smith, and he picked up contact.
He got into Skylar Spencer's body, and that'll be his second personal foul. And I mentioned this, Skylar Spencer has 297 blocks and 286 fouls coming into tonight's game. But this is the first season in his career that he's had more fouls than blocks in a single season.
Wholesale substitutions on both sides. They'll get a couple of fresh bodies in. And very exciting, Charles Mitchell will come out after doing a great job on the offensive glass. That's what's keeping Georgia Tech in it. Mind you, they were down 10 points here. Chance to cut the deficit back down to 3. Lammers connects, 6'10" sophomore from San Antonio, Texas. Biggest thing there, though, is they got the great rim protector in Skylar Spencer, the Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Year, out of the basketball game for about the next 6 minutes.
Well, for the second consecutive year, he's won that honor.
Here's Shepard going to work in the lane. Lammers disrupted things, got a little piece of it. Chol the offensive board. Kell spots up for his 3rd triple.
I love the kick out on the offensive rebound. The defense is scrambling a little bit, creates a little bit of a long run out. I think it's a great opportunity to knock down 3-point shots and a good kick out that time.
Kell's 37% from beyond the arc.
There's 2 things that are important when you get the offensive rebound. If you can't go right back up, quickly kick it to a shooter. But the shooter's got to have their feet set underneath them, and they got to be ready on the catch to go up immediately. Kell was ready.
Georges Hunt, a 3 with Kell closing, and the shot clock nearly expired, and he buries it. Great shot there.
A big moment quiets down this crowd, as a senior should. That's what you do when you're on the road and you're a senior.
From College Park, Georgia, the only yellow jacket to start all 35 games. Moved to the point guard spot in January. They become a better team. Here's Kell in the lane with a floater, and he gets that one to go down. Kell with 13.
What a first half. He's doing it from the outside. He's being aggressive and attacking. He's got great touch. A tremendous first half for Trey Kell.
He's had some big scoring games this year for the Aztecs, who went 16-2 in the regular season. They were Mountain West Conference regular season champs, but lost in the conference title game to Fresno State. 3rd straight year they lost in the title game. Other 2 times they got an at-large bid. There's a travel. This year they couldn't get in with an at-large bid.
The last 2 possessions, Trey Kell has been a force at the offensive end. Watch this on the kick out. His feet were set right underneath him. It's a step-in 3. Knocks it down, and then the next possession, quickly, soft touch up over the top of the defense. Doesn't over-dribble. A lot of times guards will dribble into the defense, try to initiate contact, and then they don't get a quick shot.
Kell lost it. That's San Diego State's first turnover, and it comes with just over 4 minutes to go, and it results in a dunk by Quentin Stevens.
That was Georges Hunt with the breakaway and the finish.
Hunt, my bad.
And he's got the last 5 points for Georgia Tech. He had the 3-pointer from the outside and the drive. We'll see if he can continue this momentum. Down 3, take a lead going into the half.
And back-to-back turnovers now for San Diego State. And they're allowing Georgia Tech to get back in it inside of 4 minutes to go here in this NIT quarterfinal matchup. The winner moving on to the Garden in New York City. 3-point lead for the Aztecs.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NIT is brought to you by LegalZoom. Get legal help for your family and business at LegalZoom.com.
The Women's Basketball Championship, Sweet 16 begins Friday at 7 on ESPN.
Why are people walking and biking to Subway? For our delicious new rotisserie-style chicken. It's raised without antibiotics and hand-pulled by 2 huge forks. Try it today with tumbling peppers and slow-motion onions. The new rotisserie-style chicken sandwich from Subway. Fresh is what we do.
Well, that's not fair. He should give you your rollerblades back. And she's back. Storm coming?
Very dangerous cheese storm.
So you have 20 more bags.
My yoga instructor calls it the death spiral. I call it living the dream.
American Express presents the Blue Cash Everyday Card with no annual fee. Cash back on purchases.
See you tomorrow.
Backed by the service and security of American Express.
Break the ice with breath-freshening, cooling crystals. Icebreakers.
We in Beverly Hills.
Do we have this money?
We got the money.
On April 1st, you have to pay your debt tonight.
You stole my toilet seat. You think you gonna run me out of this nice house? I'm from the hood.
Meet the Blacks. Rated R. April 1st. Only in theaters.
You've been planning it for months. So a sudden snowfall isn't gonna stop you. Because your Mazda's all-wheel drive can predict and adapt to changing road conditions. So even if you aren't ready for the unpredictable, your car is. Mazda's predictive iActive all-wheel drive.
Why are people walking and biking the subway? For our delicious new rotisserie-style chicken. It's raised without antibiotics and hand-pulled by 2 huge forks. Try it today with tumbling peppers and slow-motion onions. The new rotisserie-style chicken sandwich from Subway. Fresh is what we do.
I'm Chris Hassel in the studio. G-Dub closing out the Florida Gators in a back-and-forth game. We'll show you how that happened. And Miles Simon going to make his picks in the South. Kansas, Villanova, Maryland. Find out at the half. Steve and Sean.
Chris, thank you very much. NIT tournament, the updated brackets, BYU and Valpo are in. George Washington. Boy, that was tough for Florida to have to play all those games away from their home arena, even though they were a 2 seed.
Well, the Florida renovations being done to the O-Dome. It'll be ready for next season, so important for them to get an opportunity to win some games in a row to get better from Michael White in his first season at Florida. But I'm interested in Miles' picks. You know, Kansas maybe played as well as anybody in the NCAA tournament in the first weekend. But I don't think Villanova is that far behind. I mean, they shared the ball so well. 23 assists in their last win, most in the opening weekend in a single game in the first and second round. Florida Gulf Coast had 27, but that was in the first 4 games, not in the first weekend.
Here, Georgia Tech has it. They're down only 3. They've been down as many as 10. George's Hunt gets it out to Stevens. Inside of 10 to shoot. Here's Adam Smith, their big marksman from the outside.
The offensive movement has been much better in the late stages of this first half for Georgia Tech.
And that time, George's Hunt cannot beat the expiring shot clock.
How come every time I say something like Trey Kell's playing well, he falls down and leaves the ball on the floor, they get a dunk. That time I say their offensive movement's good, it's stagnant, and they jack up a 3. It's not good. I'll just be quiet now. Let's go.
It is tough to score on this Aztec defense. They're 3rd nationally in points allowed, 1st nationally in field goal defense. Opponents shoot just 37% against them.
Besides that last possession, the Yellow Jackets have been much better here, efficiently attacking the paint and being aggressive, just as Winston Shepard was on that possession.
Shepard is fouled as he attacks the hoop. And that's going to be the personal foul on Quentin Stevens, the junior from Atlanta, Georgia. Sending Winston Shepard III to the free throw line in the opener against IPFW, the first triple-double in school history. 2016 NCAA Women's Tournament continues Friday with 3rd round coverage at 7 p.m. on ESPN and ESPN2. For more information, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. How about that, Sean? It took 2,508 games in Aztec basketball history for someone to finally break through with a triple-double.
Well, and then to follow it up with a double-double. I mean, Winston Shepard, best 2 games that he's played back-to-back, and I think that goes to his mindset of not wanting his career to come to an end here. These players take great pride in being part of this program, representing this community.
Underneath, Cheatham almost got a piece of it, but muscled up and in there by James White. Arkansas Little Rock transfer, a graduate transfer.
Well, just an outstanding job breaking the press that time by Georgia Tech. This clinic, really.
His former school, Arkansas Little Rock, came in here and won a game. One of the rarities. A non-conference team coming in here and winning.
All right, let's go back to this last possession. Watch here. You're going to have this run out here. You've got guys filtering through lanes, and as they take up space and open up the floor, now you get the defense playing on your heels a little bit, and a nice distribution. You take your shoulders parallel to the baseline, and you step in and you finish like White did.
James White also on the other end, the defensive end, just picked up his 2nd personal foul. Mitchell comes back in. Kell misses, but another offensive board. How about the Aztecs the other night against Washington? 48 rebounds against a very athletic Husky team that had a lot of length.
And 2 of those players just decided they're going to the league, and they actually hired agents, according to our very own Jeff Goodman.
Malik Pope.
I'm all for testing the waters, but with the new rules, there's no need to race out and sign with an agent. See where you're at and evaluate first.
That for Pope, his first field goal to go down in 6 opportunities.
Well, Pope's one of those guys that people think can play in the NBA. You know, he's lacked some consistency, and I think he settles too often in his game, but his athleticism is there.
The pass by Jacobs for cutting Mitchell got intercepted by Dakari Allen. And Allen will pass up on the three, back to Shepard. Shepard picked up defensively by Heath. Finds the fall away in the lane. Coming up on 90 seconds to go. 4-point lead for San Diego State. Shot clock at 10. They feed the post. And Jacobs with the left hand. Boy, he's been outstanding in the paint there. The Alabama transfer played 3 seasons there and played a lot before he left. And a break in the action with 1:10 to go. All of a sudden, Georgia Tech is back from down 10. They're within 2. They've made 9 of their last 10 from the field.
Okay, stay, lie down.
I'd like to take this time.
Roll over. Roll over. Almost. Roll over. Good.
It took Joel Silverman years to become a master dog trainer.
Roll over. Good job.
But only a few commands to master depositing checks at Chase ATMs. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Well, Sean Farnham, this doesn't happen often against San Diego State, and especially in this building, but Georgia Tech has made 9 of their last 10 from the field. They're shooting 56.5% from the floor.
Well, and that's because they haven't settled. You know, they've been aggressive, and they have applied the pressure and held true to who they are as a team. And that's why I said the mirror image is really between the two teams as far as where they want to score and how they want to score. Sometimes the best opportunity to score for both these teams is a missed shot because they're both so good at getting on the offensive glass.
Cheatham, and he got blocked. Rejecting it was Nick Jacobs. Chance to equalize this time down the floor. Georges Hunt, and he's fouled on the spin move.
Well, defensively, trying to shore up their paint. They struggled early in it, but one of the big parts of this comeback really for Georgia Tech has been the fact that their interior defense has improved so much. They've cut off the ability to get clean looks going to the rim, and you get a block shot like that, it allows you to have a run out. And Marcus Georges Hunt, as we've touched on, second team All-ACC. He gets to the free throw line very frequently. 7 attempts per game on the season.
And he makes them 82% from the free throw line. He's been to the free throw line 245 times this year. And one more free throw here, and Georgia Tech will have come back from all the way back from down 10. They were down 10 at the 11:53 mark here in the first half.
You'll see on his right shoulder, he's got a yellow jacket tattooed on it.
It's commitment.
It's commitment.
First-year freshman probably doesn't have that yet. Last tie was 6-6. We're even at 31, and now all of a sudden, this crowd of 12,414 has grown quiet. Kell has 13 of the 31 for San Diego State, and he turns it over for a second time.
A little sloppy for San Diego State, and now it's just basically 2 seconds differential. Georgia Tech could potentially take a lead going to the break, and that would be huge after they trailed early in this game by 10.
They had a lead 1 minute into the game and haven't had it since. Difference between the shot clock and the game clock, not quite 3 seconds. A drive, too much length there, shot clock violation. That's the Aztecs underneath with that length disrupting things.
So with 2.7 seconds, and now they're moving the ball to the side of the court because of where the shot was taken from. That's where they're giving it to rather than underneath. They said the ball was still in his hands, which is why the ball is on the side, not underneath. Even though shot clock violation, that helps out San Diego State right now. Yep. Time.
Shepard in. Here's Pope. Launches and is off the mark. And that is how the first 20 minutes ends. How about that? San Diego State, the joint was jumping. They had a 10-point advantage. But Georgia Tech, first ACC team ever to come into this building and play the Aztecs, has drawn even. It's halftime. Now let's go to Chris Hassel and Miles Simon for the college basketball halftime report.
All right, Steve and Sean. Well, Florida made a trip to George Washington. First time since 1939 the Gators played there. Let's pick things up in the second half. Miles, this was a really good basketball game. Bunch of back and forth. Kevon Allen, the steal, and he's going to take it himself.
Yeah, watch this. One of the best athletes in the SEC. Oh! Throws it down. You can't contest that.
Kevin Larson, big game, 19 points, career high, 13 rebounds. Nice move there. Seesaw battle for much of this game. George Washington was up 6. More from Allen. Oh. And then with Florida down 3. A little full court pressure. A little over 5 minutes to go. Casey Hill, steal, bucket, 1-point game.
Yeah, I almost felt we didn't see enough of that because it did give George Washington problems at times.
Final minute, Tyler Kavanaugh with the dagger. 82-77. George Washington, technically the road team there, getting the victory and moving on to Madison Square Garden. With Miles Simon, I'm Chris Hassel. Going to find out who George Washington gets to play. Could be GW versus GT. They were down 10 points early on in this game, 18-8, but man, Yellow Jackets have come back strong. Huh?
Yeah, they did a great job on the offensive side of the floor because they shot over 50% from the field against one of the best defenses in the country. Kind of once they settled in and got comfortable in the first half, especially in the last 10 minutes, they make that nice run after being down 10 points. They get contributions from their bench. They got 10 points from the bench, kind of the difference in the game. And then on the defensive end, they got much better and started to slow San Diego State down.
57% shooting for Georgia Tech in the first half. And like Sean said, like Steve said, a lot different atmosphere they're facing in this one at San Diego State compared to the last game at South Carolina. Pretty much an empty gym. Coming up next, Miles on the South bracket. Miami, Villanova, Maryland, Kansas. Who's Miles got? Coming up.
For the last 5 days, 17 hours, and 23 minutes, you've been a passenger.
I'm back in baby's arms. How I miss those.
Mazda's Skyactiv technology makes it good to be a driver.
Back in baby's arms.
Here's the plan. You want a family and a career, but most of the time you feel like you're trying to wrangle a hurricane. The rest of the time, they're asleep. Then one day, HR schedules a meeting with you out of the blue, and it's the worst 19 minutes of your career. But you don't sweat it, because you and your advisor have prepared for this. And when the best offer means you're moving to the middle of nowhere, the boys say they hate the idea, but you pretend it's not so bad. And years later at Thanksgiving, when one of them says what he's thankful for most is this house, you realize you didn't plan for any of this, but you wouldn't have done it any other way.
With the right financial partner, progress is possible.
E-Trade is all about seizing opportunity, and I'd like to...
So I'm going to take this opportunity to direct.
Thank you. We'll call you Evening, Film Noir, Smoke, Atmosphere, Bob. You're a young farmhand, and E-Trade is your cow. Milk it.
E-Trade is all about seizing opportunity.
At Domino's, we're known for delivery, but we want to be great at carry-out, too. So to help one store get better, we put them to the test.
Let's have the customers go in. 10 more customers.
Coming through.
10 more. 10 more. We have to pay you in changes, but they're like mostly for...
They are coming at me.
All right, send them all in.
Looks like practice makes perfect.
Great.
Put your store to the test and carry out large 3-topping pizzas for only $7.99 each every Monday through Thursday.
Experts choose Goodyear. And everything we learn making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
It's a whole new ball game with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
It is magic.
Experience the ultimate season ticket, now at a new lower price.
Unbelievable.
Every punch-out, every rundown,
What a play.
and every walk-off.
Whoa.
all at your fingertips. And with MLB.tv included, you can watch nearly 100 live games a week on over 400 supported devices. Don't miss a minute of the action. Follow your favorite team on any screen with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. Order now.
This is the College Basketball Halftime Report.
I'm Chris Hassel with Miles Simon. A few guys today declaring for the NBA draft, including Ben Bentel out of Providence. Miles, he says not going to hire an agent yet, though.
Yeah, smart move. Put his name in. He had a phenomenal year, 21 points per game. That's a 15-point-per-game improvement by him, and great that he's testing the waters. And then the University of Washington is losing two of their star freshmen, Marquise Chris and DeJounte Murray. Now, Jeff Goodman is reporting that they are going to hire agents. I don't see why they should. Marquise Chris is probably a lock first-rounder. Murray probably a little bit more on the bubble. But get the feedback first and then go from there. You got plenty of time to assess where you're going to be at.
Yeah, what's the point in hiring an agent before you even go through all those workouts, see where you stand?
No, I would test the waters first, do some workouts, and then if you're getting the good feedback from the NBA, then go ahead and do your thing.
I think I know why Chris might be going to the NBA, because researcher McKenzie says that he was averaging over 4 fouls a game, fouled out 15 times this season. Now, Miles, this is what you were saying over the last couple of days. John Calipari saying it as well. When the season's over, it's about each individual player and what's right for them and their families. With that being said, every player who is eligible for the draft, including our walk-ons, will submit their names for the NBA draft in hopes of being invited to the Combine in May.
It's a smart move by any underclassman now, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, or junior. Because of the rule change this year, you can enter the draft as many times as you want. You can do individual workouts with teams. You can get invited to the Combine and participate there. And then after the Combine ends on May 15th, you have till May 25th, 10 days after, to pull your name out as long as you don't hire an agent. So I love Calipari right there, always ahead of the game.
Hopefully those walk-ons aren't hiring any agents, that's for sure. Miles, let's talk about
They want to get paid, too.
Yeah, but they might get paid like in the business world, and then the agent will be taking 10% of their money. In the South tomorrow, let's get a little pick from you, Miles. Let's start with Kansas and Maryland, two teams. Maryland had their eyes on a 1 seed earlier this season.
Yeah, Maryland is a team that we talked about early in the season as potential national title contenders. They're obviously in the hunt. They're one of the final 16. Robert Carter's going to need to play well in this game. He struggled in the 2 NCAA tournament games, but I like Kansas. I like Devontae Graham and the Melo Trimble matchup. I think Kansas is the more complete team, and they move on.
All right, who are they going to play? I mean, be hard-pressed to find anybody who's playing better right now than Miami and Villanova, and they've got to match up.
Man, two really veteran teams. It's going to be a heavyweight matchup there in Louisville, but I like Villanova. I was wavering for a little bit, but Villanova is shooting the ball at extremely high level in the last month and a half, and I think that's the difference because their defense has been phenomenal all season long. Ochefu has been a stud, double-digit rebounds in both the NCAA tournament games. You get Josh Hart out there, Archie Diacono. I think it's a team that's on a mission.
And as an Iowa fan and seeing what they did to my poor Hawkeyes, I will jump on board with Villanova beating Miami. Who do you have advancing out of there to the Final Four? You picked a little bit earlier, you picked Oklahoma to get out of the West. So who plays Oklahoma in the Final Four?
It's going to be the Kansas Jayhawks. They're phenomenal on the defensive end. Wayne Selden is playing much better. The two-headed monster at the point guard spot with Mason and Devontae Graham. Mekhi Luke has given them solid minutes off the bench. And once they inserted Landon Lucas back in February in that starting lineup, he kind of solidified the middle.
We didn't get to see the rematch, the third game between Kansas and Oklahoma in the Big 12 title game. I'd sign up for that, Miles. We'll see. We're coming back.
You've been planning it for months. So a sudden snowfall isn't gonna stop you. Because your Mazda's all-wheel drive can predict and adapt to changing road conditions. So even if you aren't ready for the unpredictable, your car is. Mazda's predictive iActive all-wheel drive.
It takes a worried soul to sing a worried
Millions
song.
of files have been compromised in the biggest data breach in
Lost shipments, international regulations, security breaches, lost revenue, lost respect.
Worried now, but I won't be worried long.
Well-crafted solutions for today's problems in commerce. Pitney Bowes, the craftsman of commerce.
For us, every chair is a beach chair.
Why am I a fan of Applebee's Fan Favorites Quesadilla Burger?
It's a burger inside a quesadilla.
Genius.
Hot.
Melty cheese.
Fresh. Pico de gallo.
Whoa. Mind blown.
Everyone's a fan with Applebee's 2 for $20 Fan Favorites.
Stay. Lie down.
I'd like to take this time.
Roll over. Roll over. Almost. Roll over. Good.
It took Joel Silverman years to become a master dog trainer.
Roll over. Good job.
But only a few commands to master depositing checks at Chase ATMs. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA's consent is prohibited.
With Miles Simon, I'm Chris Hassel. Coming up less than 30 minutes away on ESPN, Steph Curry and the Warriors. 50 straight wins at home, hosting the Clippers. Clips have a chance, Miles?
No, I'm going with the Warriors, man.
As you should. All right, women's tournament back underway Friday on ESPN and ESPN2. Couple of 1 seeds in action. You got Tennessee, the Lady Vols, as a 7 seed taking on Ohio State. It's available on the Watch ESPN app. Trey Kell with 13 at the half. 3 for 3 from downtown. It's a tie game. San Diego State and Georgia Tech. Goodbye, Miles. Have a good offseason.
Appreciate it, man. I'm out.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NIT is brought to you by Snickers. Snickers satisfies. And Acura. Precision crafted performance.
Who's the genius who puts a girl in heels on a subway grate?
Miss Monroe, eat a Snickers.
Why?
You get a little cranky when you're hungry. Better?
Much better.
This thing will never make the cut.
This is our point of view. If there's a better way, take it. If there's a claim, stake it. If there's a perception, escape it. If there's an open road, never waste it. And if there's a dream to be chased, chase it. This is what we make, and this is how we make it.
Today's the day. Oh, look, creepy gloves for my feet. When I was a kid, there was a handle and a face. This is nice. Does it come in a California King? Getting a roid rage. Hemorrhoid. These are the worst, right? I'm gonna buy them. Boom. I'll take them. Impulse buy.
American Express presents the Blue Cash Everyday Card with no annual fee.
It's all happening.
Cash back on purchases.
There we go.
Backed by the service and security of American Express.
At Domino's, we're known for delivery, but we want to be great at carry-out, too. So to help one store get better, we put them to the test.
Let's have the customers go in. 10 more customers.
Coming through.
10 more. 10 more.
We have to pay you in change, but they're like mostly
But they are coming at me.
All right, send them all in.
Looks like practice makes perfect.
Great.
Put your store to the test and carry out large 3-topping pizzas for only $7.99 each every Monday through Thursday.
First class, gonna punch your way to fitness. Hey, great form, though. A little goodness is the beginning of greatness. Whole nuts, real fruit, with dark chocolate. Introducing Goodness Knows.
This is a story about you. The incredible you. It starts with your DNA, your 23 pairs of chromosomes that make you unique. Your traits, your tastes. This is a story about why you became who you are. 23andMe.com is the first and only genetic service available directly to you that includes reports that meet FDA standards. You'll get personalized, detailed reports that provide unique insights into your health, traits, and ancestry. Simply order your DNA kit from 23andMe.com, provide your saliva sample at home, and mail it back. Then you'll be notified when your online reports are ready. You'll be able to explore your reports and use tools to compare your genetics with friends and family. See how your 23 pairs of chromosomes help tell the story of one incredible you. Order your DNA kit today at 23andme.com.
20 minutes left to see who goes to the Garden in New York City to play George Washington in the NIT semifinals. We're tied at 31. Georgia Tech has come back from down 10 points. Alongside Sean Farnham, I'm Steve Quiss. And wow, there are not a lot of teams against the #1 defense in the nation as far as field goal defense is concerned that can come in here and make 56.5% of their shots.
Not a lot of teams. There's only been one team this year to shoot better than 50% against San Diego State. It was Air Force in a game that actually San Diego State won. The concern right now is who's going to be more productive in the paint in the second half. And if momentum tells you anything, it's going to be Georgia Tech. Because early on, it was an outstanding job of getting underneath. 12 early points in the first 9 minutes of this game in the paint for San Diego State, but then they only got 4 the rest of the way. Conversely, during that same final 11:44 in the first half, 16 points came in the paint. 11 out of the 13 made field goals for Georgia Tech were scored going to the basket. So at the half, what does Steve Fisher talk to his team about? Toughness, grit, being willing to defend and to keep the Yellow Jackets out of the paint. And if you're Brian Gregory, you're telling your team, hey, get back after it and do the same thing we did in the first half. That's not what they did in the first half.
Quentin Stevens settling for the 3. Georgia Tech hated to see halftime come up. They were on a run there toward the end of the first half. They made 9 of their final 10 field goals in that first half of play. Here's Dakari Allen to the hole. Stevens clears the rebound, but stolen by Winston Shepard III and a reach-in foul.
They're going to call that on the ground, and Winston Shepard and this fan base wanted going up to the basket. Stevens a little weak with the ball, exposed it from behind. Actually surprised they did not award the free throws there.
San Diego State's defense, 3rd in the nation in points allowed at 61 a game. 1st in the NCAA in field goal defense at 37%. 10th in blocks at 5.5. And here's Georgia Tech shooting 56.5%. And the Aztecs have 1 block shot.
You share those numbers, and what do those numbers tell you is that that's the staple of what has been a very successful building process of this program. And Pope gets underneath and scores, but it's been the defense in Steve Fisher and San Diego State for a long time, and that's why they consistently win 20-plus games and have kept this thing rolling.
More points in the paint there for San Diego State. Georgia Tech, 11th place finish in the ACC. They'll try it from the outside, and Charles Mitchell knocks down the deep 2.
A nice job, the big fella stepping out, vacating the spot, going to the open area, showing some versatility.
Mitchell averages nearly a double-double, 10 points a game, 9.6 rebounds, and had 3 offensive rebounds. Spencer had an easy look, and he's fouled.
Well, if you flop and you don't get the call, which is all that was, it vacates space and allows you to step through, and Stevens has had a not-so-great start here in the second half. He had the missed 3. He had the ball turned over. Now he fouls and gives a potential N1 opportunity.
Picks up his 3rd personal and has to take a seat on the Georgia Tech bench, allowing Skylar Spencer to go to the free throw line. This is always interesting. For the first 3 years, he was shooting at the free throw line with another hand. And I think you see why.
Well, you also see the strength of San Diego State.
Offensive rebound, spin move, Shepard, he puts it back.
Winston Shepard came from the weak side, tracked that ball all the way down, and then able to finish. And a good start here to the second half for San Diego State.
Got a 4-point advantage. They were up as many as 10 for the 2-seeded Aztecs in the first half. Winner advances to the Garden in New York to play in the semifinals on Tuesday. They'll get George Washington. And on the drive, we've got a whistle and a foul.
Well, let's go back to that last play. Here's where Winston Shepard is. Watch how he works his way all the way over here to get the rebound. So boxing out, Mitchell had his man Pope, but nobody went with Shepard. Nobody put a body on him, and that allowed him to track that one down and bring him right back to the rim.
Malik Pope picking up the personal. sending Charles Mitchell to the free throw line. A kid who slimmed down in the offseason.
Well, here's the thing. You think about going back to San Diego State, getting that offensive rebound put back in the identity of the defense and then toughness and rebounding. When you sign to play at a college and you're a young prospect, you better know what's expected of you, how you're expected to play, what the identity of that program is, because the identity for San Diego State is very simple. You're going to have to defend, you're going to attack, and we're going to try to get second chance points, and that's how we sometimes have to facilitate our offense for Coach Steve Fisher.
Steve Fisher puts little nuggets on the chalkboard or the dry erase board before each game, and one of them is to rebound 50% of your missed shots. And the Aztecs have 7 offensive rebounds against one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the nation.
When you have alums like Kawhi Leonard, that made a staple of being an outstanding defensive player, and now is one of the best two-way players, if not the best two-way player in the NBA.
Another offensive board, and as Shepard went up, he got fouled. Good work underneath there on Marcus Georges-Hunt.
Well, Winston Shepard had a quiet first half. Only 3 points, 1 of 5 from the floor. And I mentioned the last 2 games, broking over 20 points. And the last time out, 20 and 10 for him. He had the triple-double before that. And now he's come out in the second half, and he's got a renewed sense of energy all of a sudden.
Foul was on Marcus Georges-Hunt. That's his first for the senior from College Park, Georgia.
Winston Shepard, highly touted coming out of high school, played for Findlay Prep in Las Vegas. He's been all Mountain West second team the last 2 seasons. I think about his numbers in the first 2 games, you combine them. 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Those are pretty good numbers.
And with 3 more points, he'll move into 6th all-time scoring at San Diego State. He's sitting there right now at 7th with just over 1,380 points. Tech down 4, almost 3 minutes into the second half. Georges-Hunt on the drive, and he picked up contact.
Yeah, it's so great watching Marcus Georges-Hunt attack the way that he does right there, and he can kind of sense his team maybe lacking a little bit of that toughness that they had at the end of the first half, and so what better way to establish it by taking matters into your own hands and kind of forcing the issue there a little bit, but able to draw the foul and earn the trip to the free throw line.
First on Trey Kell, and this is a spot that Georges-Hunt has been very comfortable at this year. You had mentioned getting to the free throw line 7 times a game. Really close games at the end. Something like him getting to the free throw line, especially on the road here, could make a big difference when it's all said and done. His scoring numbers even better in the ACC, scoring almost 18.5 points a game in ACC play.
Well, it's been his best shooting year of his career and his highest assist average per game in his career. So he has assumed that role, and I think that sometimes from struggles becomes strength. And for Marcus Georges-Hunt at 2 and 8, he's like, hey, you know what? I'm not going out like this.
Oh, what a block as Shepard went in. And that's the big fella Jacobs, the Alabama transfer.
The rotation over from the help side position. Meet me up top. Winston Shepard gives him a smile because he knows he got the best of him on that one.
They are big, they are physical, and you need to be to survive in the ACC. They went 21 and 14 this year, but 8 and 10 in the ACC, an 11th place finish. Kell, the air ball, he made 3 threes in the first half.
And the difference was that once in the first half were open, that one, his momentum was taking him away from the basket, and it was contested. Not a good look.
Jacobs double. Elevating is Adam Smith, and he still has not knocked down a triple. That's unlike him.
It's okay. The last 2 shots by both teams are kind of like, okay, you took a bad one, I'll take a bad one at the other end and get after it again.
He's taking time off the clock right now. Here's Pope. He'll try the 3, and that's well off the mark.
I'm trying to go through my notes here and find where I wrote down that these are good 3-point shooting teams, and I just can't find it anywhere right now. I mean, last 3 possessions, they're just settling. We come out of the break, we showed you in the first half. Where was this game controlled? It was controlled in the paint. It was controlled by the team that wanted to dominate inside. Just because the defense is packing it in a little bit, have a little patience, reverse the ball, and find something open.
And violation against Georgia Tech results in a turnover.
So we've had 2 bad three-point shots taken back-to-back. Then we had an air ball 3 that goes out of bounds, and now a 5-second call. Not a good stretch for the offense here.
9th Georgia Tech turnover. Their second of the second half. The Aztecs have only turned it over 3 times. 2 of those 3 came on back-to-back possessions in the first half. Kell, dish out. Pope this time. We'll get rid of it. Allen with the floater. Mitchell is closing in on 10 rebounds. Here's Josh Heath. Mitchell in the lane, over 2 defenders, and a hard-earned bucket.
Hey, there you go, getting aggressive, getting in the paint, utilizing your size, playing to your strength. You know, sometimes you just get away, and you're in the moment of the game, and you get away from doing what you do well. When in doubt, give the ball to Mitchell. He knows what to do with it when he gets the ball in the paint.
10 points, 8 rebounds. Jakari Allen had it stripped, but Spencer is playing with 2 personals, cleans up the miss.
He got stripped away in just right place at the right time. Good activity at the defensive end of the floor, just unfortunate of where it went to. Spencer was able to catch it and go straight up.
What an entertaining game. Georgia Tech is staying up until about 1:30 a.m. on Monday night to figure out who they were going to play. Traveled the next day and a brief walkthrough yesterday. Here's Mitchell and in and out. And that's going to be San Diego State basketball when we come back. 14:35 to go here in regulation. A 2-point advantage for the second-seeded Aztecs.
Opening day, April 3rd and 4th on ESPN.
Why are people walking and biking to Subway? For our delicious new rotisserie-style chicken. It's raised without antibiotics and hand-pulled by 2 huge forks. Try it today with tumbling peppers and slow-motion onions. The new rotisserie-style chicken sandwich from Subway. Fresh is what we do.
This is our point of view. If there's a better way, take it. If there's a claim, stake it. If there's a perception, escape it. If there's an open road, never waste it. And if there's a dream to be chased, chase it. This is what we make, and this is how we make it.
E-Trade is all about seizing opportunity. So I'm going to take this opportunity to go off script.
So if I want to go to Jersey and check out Shotzi Tucciarelli's portfolio, what's it to you?
Or I'm a Scottish mason whose assets are made of stone, like me heart.
Papa!
You're no son of mine! Or perhaps it's time to seize the day. Don't just see opportunity, seize it!
911.
I'd like to report a suspicious black family just walking down the street, free for everyone to see.
Pump it up, you get it, drunk with a day, get it drunk, you get it.
I never seen a pit bull with a perm.
Meet the Blacks, rated R, April 1st, only in theaters.
Break the ice with breath-freshening, cooling crystals. Icebreakers.
Why are people walking and biking to Subway? For our delicious new rotisserie-style chicken. It's raised without antibiotics and hand-pulled by 2 huge forks. Try it today with tumbling peppers and slow-motion onions. The new rotisserie-style chicken sandwich from Subway. Fresh is what we do.
2-point lead for San Diego State. You know, you're mentioning before the break that Georgia Tech players were waiting to find out where they were going. They had some students that were glad they were here in San Diego. This is a group of students that actually emailed Coach Brian Gregory and said, hey, guess what? Coach, we're in San Diego, and we'd like to come to the game. And he said, we need tickets. And Coach said, well, how many do you need? So they asked him, and Coach obliged and put their name on the list here. And they came all painted up and ready to go. Their phones are going to start blowing up in a second because they're going to realize they're on national television and they're wearing no shirts with paint on them.
I applaud Brian Gregory for that, because we talked about how little time they've had to prepare for this thing, and they've had to travel across country from Columbia, South Carolina. You would think one of the last things he'd have to worry about is accommodating those kids. But
no, but come on, they're on spring break.
Yeah.
They're students. He is It's smart. You got to love your community, and both of these coaches understand the value of student support. They also understand the value of scoring in the paint. Nice job by Winston Shepard, feeling where the defense is, spinning off of it, and being able to finish.
Shepard starting to heat up. That's going to stick with Georgia Tech as Matt Shrigley knocked it out of bounds.
Now Shepard at the opposite end to watch the drive, sees where the defense is, feels him on his hip, and spins off. Got great length, long arms, able to finish up over the top.
He has 8 points. San Diego State with a 4-point advantage almost 6 minutes into the second half. This is Ben Lammers with it. Gives it to Josh Heath, the South Florida transfer. His dad Stan now coaching at BC. Here's Jacobs, puts it on the floor against Cheatham and pulls up with the left hand, misfires, and Chol has the board.
Yeah, one season working with you, and he wanted to get back into coaching.
Yes, he did. It wasn't even a season. It was like you and I, 2 games at the Wooden Legacy. Chol with the left hand, counters on the other end.
Yeah, we mentioned it. You and I were both at the Wooden Legacy. Stan was there. I said he liked this broadcasting thing so much he got back into coaching as quickly as he could.
Very talented guy at both. Jackson to the hole, and he's fouled. That's Todrick Jackson, very aggressive on the drive, a sophomore from Tipton, Georgia. Jackson's had some big games this year. He scored double figures against Duke, Miami, and Virginia. And keep in mind, it shouldn't come as a surprise that Georgia Tech is fighting their way back because they knocked off Virginia. They beat Notre Dame toward the end of the year. Got some good wins on the ledger.
Well, you talk about their slow start. They struggled against teams that are all in the Sweet 16.
2016 NCAA Women's Tournament continues Friday with third-round coverage at 7 p.m. on ESPN and ESPN2. For more information, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Yeah, this is such a great time of year. Championships being won all over the college landscape, still at the high school level. My high school, De La Salle High School, playing in the California State Championship this weekend up in Sacramento. They're playing this little-known team out of Chino Hills. I just wish they had some players on their team. They're #1 in the country, and they've got one of the best players in Lonzo Ball.
Yep, McDonald's All-American Player of the Year, Gatorade Player of the Year of the state. He's fantastic. Shepard has been fantastic here on back-to-back possessions.
When he stops playing with it and he just goes, he's so much better. And sometimes he wants to prove he can play with it, and he's dribbling it, you know, and trying to get you leaning one way or another. Just go with it. Just be smooth and use your athleticism. When he does that, he's elite.
George's Hunt, he was looking back door for somebody, nothing there. Shot clock down to 7. Shepard picks up George's Hunt. He drives in the lane. That's a tough shot. Came up short, but there's Mitchell. But there's a shot clock violation.
That is a superb defense. The calling card for the Aztecs is to defend, and these fans here absolutely love it.
Winston Shepard saying, come on, bring the noise.
They're looking to see if the ball hit the rim.
Kevin Brill, Tommy Nunez, Larry Spaulding, our veteran crew.
And no, that ball did not hit the rim, not from that angle. I didn't think it did when we watched it. This will be the clearest angle. Yeah, no, it didn't hit anything. But I want to get back to the whole defensive possession because I think that's what excites us. Watch their defense. They cut the court in half. They force you to play on one side of the floor. This is 19 seconds in. So the ball gets brought back over to this side. Eventually it's going to hit Marcus George's Hunt. And as they try to set screens, they force that screen to not be allowed to have any impact whatsoever. Watch it, downing the ball screen, which means you take away the ability to use that screen. Then they help off and switch. Chol does a nice job keeping his hands up. That's just great awareness of helping each other, talking through at the defensive end of the floor.
They're defending much better here in the second half. Remember, they shot 56.5% to Georgia Tech in the first half. They're 2 for their first 7 from the floor in the opening moments here of this second half. And a lot of what you showed is the reason why. And they defend so hard, you don't get a lot of possessions. Now, Washington got a lot of possessions. It was an up-and-down game on Monday in this building, but it's different. San Diego State forced to play another different type of game, and that's Angelo Chol misfiring. 6-point game. Georgia Tech 1 of 7 shooting threes. And with the left hand, Jacobs. No. Out of bounds. And San Diego State will have it.
A good hustle by Mitchell. Trying to track that one down, but look at the number of jerseys. They're swarming all over the place, and Mitchell almost kills a cheerleader and then jumps on a table.
Mitchell, by the way, has a double-double, 10 points and 10 rebounds. He's been exciting to watch. Causing a lot of troubles on both ends for San Diego State. And Stevens with a grab. That's going to be another.
It's 4 personal fouls now on Stevens. It's a 6-point lead and one of the best environments in all of college basketball. They're into it. They want to see their Aztecs get to New York City.
Here's the plan. You want a family and a career, but most of the time you feel like you're trying to wrangle a hurricane. The rest of the time, they're asleep. Then one day, HR schedules a meeting with you out of the blue, and it's the worst 19 minutes of your career. But you don't sweat it, because you and your advisor have prepared for this. And when the best offer means you're moving to the middle of nowhere, the boys say they hate the idea, but you pretend it's not so bad. And years later at Thanksgiving, when one of them says what he's thankful for most is this house, you realize you didn't plan for any of this, but you wouldn't have done it any other way.
With the right financial partner, progress is possible.
Why am I a fan of Applebee's fan favorites, bourbon street chicken and shrimp? It's so smoky and mysterious. Then that Cajun spice. I almost forgot I could feel this way.
She used to talk about me like that.
Everyone's a fan with Applebee's 2 for $20 fan favorites. This is our point of view. If there's a better way, take it. If there's a claim, stake it. If there's a perception, escape it. If there's an open road, never waste it. And if there's a dream to be chased, chase it. This is what we make, and this is how we make it.
Good. Stay. Lie down.
I'd like to take this time.
Roll over. Roll over. Almost. Roll over. Good.
It took Joel Silverman years to become a master dog trainer.
Roll over. Good job.
But only a few commands to master depositing checks at Chase ATMs. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
2-point game here in the NIT quarterfinals. Winner advances to the Garden to play in the semis on Tuesday against George Washington. And it's been Winston Shepard of San Diego State having a productive start to the second half, Sean.
Yeah, only 3 points in the first half. He's got 7 in the first 8 minutes here. And it's not only about scoring. One of the things that he's been able to do, he's drawn 3 fouls in this half already. And that shows a certain level of aggressiveness that he's playing with and a focus that he's going with.
Let's take a look at how progress is possible, brought to you by Principal Financial Group. And this is what we visited in our open here, the 2 seniors for their respective teams.
The 2 seniors playing like seniors, and you'd expect them to assert themselves. I think there's still more from Marcus Georges-Hunt to come. Tighten this game back up. It's a 6-point lead. Winston Shepard elevating his play after a very sluggish first half where he was 1 for 5 shooting.
Shepard has 7 in the second half, just 2 for Marcus Georges-Hunt, and the Aztecs get sloppy. Boy, up to that point, they had only turned it over 3 times and not once in the second half. Remember how long it took in the first half for them to get their first turnover.
Yeah, no need to rush it there out of a timeout. You got to be able to come out and execute. Play with some poise.
They'll extend their defense here. Try to make it tough on Heath. Smith has been quiet. Steps back, deep 2 is good.
Well, he has the propensity to make difficult shots. I mean, those a couple of those shots, you're like, no. Yeah, no, that's good. Let's go.
We'll take it.
And he's been playing really well as of late. Coming into this game, great rhythm from beyond the arc. You mentioned his numbers.
Wow, Chol with a great pass to Hemsley, and he scores easily.
And I think Smith has got to be that complimentary scorer right now to step up for Georgia Tech.
Baseline right, And right on cue, the Virginia Tech transfer. His career started at UNC Wilmington.
Last 5 games averaging close to 21 points per contest. Not near those numbers right now.
Cheatham. Back to Chol. Boy, that could have been disastrous, but he got the board. A hard pass to Chol, who scores more points in the paint for San Diego State.
Well, as Smith gets going, San Diego State, though, has been answering.
Shrigley picks up Smith now. Going to try another 2 from the right. Shepard secures the board. Shepard with a pass down to Chol in the post. Shrigley was hot on Monday, and he's misfired on every 3-point opportunity here on Wednesday.
I think right now in this possession, we've seen Smith a couple of times try to get to his shot. I like to see Marcus Georges-Hunt get involved, play through him, try to get the ball to Mitchell, utilizing his size.
Head fake by Smith.
Clear out and give some space for Mitchell. I try to isolate him on the block. They go away from him.
What a great move by Heath, and he got fouled by Chol underneath.
And they try to get Smith coming up top early in that possession. Obviously, they want to ignite him and get him going, but trying to get him going, you can't get away from Mitchell and Georges-Hunt.
This will be the 13th free throw taken by the road team, Georgia Tech, here in this hostile environment. San Diego State's only been there 5 times. James White will re-enter the ball game, and Jacobs, the Alabama transfer, will sit.
And one of the things that Josh Heath does as well as anybody in the country really is his assist-to-turnover ratio, valuing the basketball this year 3-to-1, 14th best in the NCAA.
Was the starting point guard on 21 different occasions for Georgia Tech, but he leaves one at the free throw line here. 5-point advantage for San Diego State. They're the 2 seed. Winner goes to the Garden, plays Tuesday night against George Washington, who knocked off Florida before we took air. Pope. And again, another air ball by Malik Pope. He's just having a tough go of it here in the early evening in San Diego.
Settling. He settles, and that's what he does. It's like that commercial with settlers. Yeah, he's a settler. He likes cable, and he likes to shoot jump shots from the outside.
We had a double-double the other night against UW, 10 points, 12 boards, and 1 wicked dunk. So he was playing above the rim against a very athletic Washington team with length. And here you're right, just settling for either a 3 or a mid-range jumper, which really isn't his game. Hemsley battling the bone bruise in the right foot, and his game is struggling here. Allen, great on-ball defender, trying to get the steal, and it's out of bounds.
That was some fancy leg work right there by Allen. Allen goes to the floor, and the ball starts coming towards him, and watch what he does here. Here it rolls, and just lift up the legs and let it hit your opponent. Yep, got possession. Let's go the other way.
Thank God for the extra Pilates classes.
That kind of footwork could get him on Dancing with the Stars
yes,
eventually.
It could. Well, the Aztecs have possession. 9 minutes to go here in the quarterfinals.
A couple of athletes being part of Dancing with the Stars. That just got underway. I mean, after The Bachelor, you go immediately to Dancing with the Stars. I know you're a big fan of both. Paige Van Zandt, that's who I'm rolling with.
I do the home improvement shows. I'm sorry, partner. You can do all the dance ones. I'm doing all the fixer-upper stuff. Georges-Hunt moving around the screen. Now attacks the hoop.
Ooh, a lot of
Spencer
contact
was
there.
right there. Yep, they didn't call it. Not even sure he got a piece of the ball. Pope back the other way, settling for another one. But they're going to get bailed out on the foul here. Boy, just look at his body language, too.
Yeah, Allen anticipating the air ball. Able to put himself in the right position.
Second on Charles Mitchell, sending Dakari Allen to the free throw line.
Allen last year only averaged about 2 points per game. And this year, numbers much better. Tripled that output. Had back-to-back 10-point games coming into this one. 10 overall on the season. And He's been a nice addition into their starting lineup with Hemsley dealing with the nagging foot injury. It opened up the door, and one of the things Allen has always been good at is defensively. He's got great length at the guard position, and which is obviously very important to this team.
He's had back-to-back 10-point games here in the NIT, but that was his first point of the evening. 6-point advantage for San Diego State. They were up 10 in the first half. We were tied at 31 at the break. Leaner off the window, no. And San Diego State basketball.
Well, this game had some great flow to it in the first half. In the second half, it's been really choppy. Neither team has been able to sustain any sort of run here in the second half. You kind of feel like the first team that can go on like a 10-0 run or a 10-2 run like we saw Georgia Tech have in the first half will secure possession of this game.
Cal, a great pass to Hemsley and disrupting things Georgia Tech's defense. Yellow Jackets with a very experienced roster, 9th most experienced roster in the NCAA, coming on the road trying to grind out a victory. Less than 48 hours after they were playing in Columbia against South Carolina. Got to tip your hat to this ACC team. 4 to go on the shot clock. Georgia's Hunt short. And he got his own offensive rebound, puts it up, no, and securing the board is Pope. And here come the Aztecs in transition. Hemsley attacking the hoop and scoring. Georgia Tech needs a timeout.
It's been sloppy and at times disjointed here in the second half, but the freshman Hemsley says, I want to be next. I want to be the next great Aztec. The bench loves it. The fans love it. They're up 8.
Audi pilotless vehicles have conquered highways, mountains, and racetracks. And now, much of that same advanced technology is found in the new Audi A4, with one notable difference. The all-new Audi A4 with available traffic jam assist.
Anything. We're attacking the rest of the country.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Anything can happen.
The Women's Basketball Championship, Sweet 16, begins Friday at 7 on ESPN.
Tonight, after NBA Wednesday.
Welcome to SportsCenter from Los Angeles.
Stay on the West Coast as the guys break down the Warriors' pursuit of history.
We're on it.
SportsCenter at night after NBA Wednesday. Tonight on ESPN.
What are you doing in there?
Looking at these lame credit card offers. Plus, my buddy Doug bet me $10 I couldn't fit in a mailbox.
What's wrong with these offers?
Wake up and smell the future, man. Don't settle. Go to LendingTree.com and shop for the credit card that you want, like reward cards or 0% interest for 18 months.
At LendingTree, shop and compare credit cards and choose the one that's right for you. LendingTree. When banks compete, you win.
Ho! Ho! Ho!
Every day, America prints about $500 million. Wow. Sadly, a whole bunch of those dollars are used to pay too much for car insurance. Luckily, there's Esurance. Born online, raised by technology, and majors in efficiency, which saves dollars. And when they save, you save. So you can tell some of your dollars, good news, gang, we're going out for ice cream. Auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
Aztecs by 8. Friday, the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One continues on ESPN with Sweet 16 matchups between 4 and 1 seeds. At 7 Eastern, Syracuse squares off against South Carolina, and then at 9, it's Stanford and Notre Dame from Rupp Arena. Both games also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
South Carolina, Syracuse, and Notre Dame not only on the women's side, but obviously in the men's side as well. And everybody says it's a coronation ceremony this year on the women's side, and deservedly so because of what UConn has been able to accomplish and how strong they've looked. But if there's one team on the women's side I think that could have a chance to get it done, It's Don Staley's South Carolina team. Tiffany Mitchell, a phenomenal talent on the women's side, and it's more than just her.
Here, Georgia Tech has gone over 4 minutes without a field goal, and the Aztecs have kept them off the offensive glass here in the second half, and they get that defensive rebound. Only 2 offensive rebounds for Tech here in the second half. Kell off the Spencer screen, buries the 3.
Remember I said if there was one team that could go on a little bit of a run, it might be just enough to separate in this game, and San Diego State has gone on that run.
4 threes for Kell. He's got 16. Lead is 11. That's the biggest of the ball game here for the Aztecs. Trying to get back to the Garden for the first time since 2009. Shot clock at 1. George's Hunt pulls up on the baseline and makes a tough shot.
And this is a similar kind of moment where we saw Marcus George's Hunt start to assert himself in the first half. He needs to do it right now. He cannot wait.
And you can't go 5 minutes between made field goals like Georgia Tech just did there. Inside of 6 to go. No call. Allen makes the extra pass to Spencer. He doesn't have much of an offensive game. He'll try it here. Bank it in and count it.
Timeout on the floor. Spencer goes over the shoulder, gets the contact and the emotion for the senior. He wants to play on. He wants to go to New York City.
The intelligent, all-new Audi A4 is here.
Picture this, your next trip, Utah, 5 national parks, Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches. This is Life Elevated, the Mighty 5. 5 iconic parks, 1 epic experience, only in Utah.
Turns out lemon juice doesn't cure pink eye.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
That's how I am.
Redhead Fred, ultra rare. I collect these too.
No, these are for my dog because he can never decide which one he wants till he gets home, so.
American Express presents the Blue Cash Everyday Card with no annual fee. Cash back on purchases.
My only concern is where we put food.
A dog's foot is cleaner than a human's mouth. That's what they say.
Is it?
Cleaner than my mouth.
Backed by the service and security of American Express.
Break the ice with breath-freshening, cooling crystals. Icebreakers.
And my man's getting a lot of high fives because he's putting on a show for the fans in the show, the student section here at San Diego State. But the show in the second half has been in the paint, just as it was in the first half. Look at the numbers, the domination of Georgia Tech. They outscored them 16-4 in the final, 11-44 in the first half. But in the second half, it has been all San Diego State. They have continued to find their success. They're playing with the toughness that Steve Fisher challenged his team with at halftime. And that advantage is why we've seen the separation occur and the Aztecs playing so well.
Skylar Spencer at the free throw line to try and complete the three-point play. 11-point lead. We talked about him lacking an offensive game. He only averages 3.8 points per game, but he's 4 for 4 with easy looks, 8 points.
I think about this first half. We mentioned only one team had shot better than 50% on a game against San Diego State. That was the Air Force Academy. First half, Georgia Tech shot 56% from the floor. In the second half, just 29%.
And Dakari Allen in the passing lane with his steal, but he stepped out of bounds, and he'll turn it over back to Georgia Tech.
Defense, some toughness, proper denial hand. Trying to tightrope walk that line. Like a wide receiver trying to get 2 feet in the NFL,
That's
1 foot in the college game. Expectations high for the Aztecs football program next year here.
Should be coming off playing in the Mountain West Conference Championship game last year. Matter of fact, they got to host here, and they moved that game, their city championship against San Diego. It was played outdoors at Petco Park, moved from a Saturday to a Sunday, and that was a big non-conference loss for San Diego State. It was 7-6 in the non-conference. Great extra pass there by Smith, resulting in a good look by Nick Jacobs.
No, that was all created, though, because of great aggressiveness and attacking from the outside. Clearing out space, forcing the defense to shift and rotate. They've been stagnant in their half-court sets in the second half, and the back line of that defense has been able to stay true in the paint and protect.
Sticking with San Diego State. Inside of 5 to go, 17 to go on the shot clock. Look at the turnovers and the second chance points. San Diego State's bench has been pretty good for the second straight time. They have 19 points. Hensley missed off the front of the rim, and a foul is called. No, Brian Gregory didn't like that. We get Jacobs here. Third on Jacobs.
You see Coach telling his team, you got to rebound the ball. There's no doubt about it. You've got a poor free throw shooter at the line and an opportunity to box out. Remember, in the second half already, we've seen Winston Shepard gather an offensive rebound off of a Spencer miss.
And his third straight miss with a right hand. Last year was a left-handed free throw shooter. Allen gets the rebound in the backcourt. And there is Pope. Another missed shot for Pope. He's 2 of 12 from the floor. Chance now for Georgia Tech. And Mitchell goes to work and got blocked by Spencer. Closing in on 300 career blocks. Kell back the other way. Lost it. Coming up on 4 to go. Smith to the hole. Nothing there. Dakari Allen ahead to Trey Kell, and Kell throws it down. Georgia's Hunt can't silence the crowd. Here's Pope. Allen drives in, and Allen is fouled by Mitchell.
And Allen was hit hard, but that gives us the opportunity to go back. And there's blocks, and then there's Skylar Spencer. That's not a block, that's a kill in volleyball. I mean, he absolutely just spiked that one off the backboard, and it's led out to some easy runouts because of defense at the other end. Aztecs up by 1.
Why am I a fan of Applebee's Fan Favorites Quesadilla Burger?
It's a burger inside a quesadilla.
Genius.
Hot.
Melty cheese.
Fresh. Pico de gallo.
Whoa. Mind blown.
Everyone's a fan with Applebee's 2 for $20 Fan Favorites.
Every insurance policy has a number, but not every insurance company understands the life behind it. For those who've served and the families who've supported them, we offer our best service in return. USAA, we know what it means to serve. Get an insurance quote and see why 92% of our members plan to stay for life.
E-Trade is all about seizing opportunity, and I'd like to...
So I'm going to take this opportunity to direct.
Thank you. We'll call you Evening, Film Noir, Smoke, Atmosphere, Bob. You're a young farmhand, and E-Trade is your cow. Milk it.
E-Trade is all about seizing opportunity.
Who's the genius who puts a girl in heels on a subway grate?
Miss Monroe, eat a Snickers.
Why?
You get a little cranky when you're hungry. Better?
Much better.
This scene will never make the cut.
The intelligent, all-new Audi A4 is here.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NIT is brought to you by the all-new Audi A4 and Utah. Life elevated. Plan your vacation at visitutah.com.
Back in San Diego, you're looking at the Midway Museum, and block number 300 of Skylar Spencer's career leads to instant offense for San Diego State and an 11-point lead.
Yeah, we go back. This one, I mean, just so impressive. He's just swatting that out of there. Mitchell had the angle on him. Spencer with a little swag. The key about the block, you got to sell it. So you got the great block, and then watch the swag move back. A little look, a little yep, that's what I did. And you go to the other end. They were one of the best shot blockers over his 4-year career, 300 now on his career, most in school and conference history. You understand when you see plays like that, how you become back-to-back defensive player of the year for the Mountain West.
And that's just a cool number to get to right at the end of your career. He's a departing senior, even 300, and he'll likely have a few more, especially if they get to go to the Garden.
One more.
Makari Allen at the free throw line, he'll have another one.
Well, I mentioned that. I mean, you mentioned that Spencer, not a great offensive weapon. He's 4 for 4 from the floor with 8 points. And so they've got some point production out of him tonight in ways that he normally doesn't score. He doesn't score with his back to the basket. He's an offensive rebounder and putback guy. But tonight, he's only got 1 offensive rebound, but he's still been effective.
Brilliant career for Skylar Spencer, the leader in wins, too, on the Mesa. 108 career wins. That's also a Mountain West Conference record. Played in 143 games. 143rd game for the kid. Might have 2 more. Georgia Tech needs a bucket. They're running out of time here. And settling from the elbow right there is Todrick Jackson.
Well, now it's the defense of Georgia Tech that needs to step up and get stops. And they need to reverse the trend and the fluidity we've seen from San Diego State as far as aggressively attacking, getting inside the paint.
Yeah, they're a veteran team. A lot of older guys on the team that have played in hostile environments in the ACC like the Duke and North Carolina and Louisville. See if they can mount a comeback. 3 to shoot, and Pope from the baseline, and it goes. It's just their night.
Well, it's just his 3rd bank in 13 attempts. They made a slight adjustment that last time out. Marcus Georges-Hunt being put on Winston Shepard to try to cool him off, but now they need to get Georges-Hunt going offensively.
We'll take the 3 and we'll make it. And a quick timeout called by Brian Gregory from the Georgia Tech bench. Although one of his players had to hear that and call it. Well, tonight after the NBA doubleheader, keep it locked on to ESPN for SportsCenter at night with Stan and Neil. They'll have updates from the final day of the NFL owners meeting in Boca and all the highlights from spring training, the NHL, NIT, and NBA, and hopefully that nominee for SportsCenter play of the night that we showed you. SportsCenter at night live from Los Angeles tonight after the Clippers-Warriors right here on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
I'll be hanging out with the guys tomorrow night and Friday night, breaking down the NCAA tournament.
Very cool. And I will be watching De La Salle and Chino Hills, your alma mater.
There you go.
After finishing up the state high school beat here. So good luck to De La Salle. They're going to need to score more than 41 points.
Maybe not. Maybe they'll just defend and put on one of the best performances ever at the defensive end of the floor. It's going to be a monumental task. But a lot of great action up there. Harvard Westlake High School, Cassius Stanley, one of the best freshmen in the country. Dave Rubino in his first season. Russell White from Crespi High School taking on Berkeley.
Not the football-playing Russell White. That was knocked away. It's staying with San Diego State. Last touch by Adam Smith on the defensive end. Well, Georgia Tech, a heck of a season. They've won 21 games, winners of 8 of their last 9 since February the 17th, and this is their 15th 20-win season in Tech history. It kind of surprised me when I read that number. And Cheatham got fouled by Mitchell as he tried to blow in for the jam on the baseline.
This is the problem, though. When you start extending out your defense more than you're accustomed to, and Georgia Tech has to do it, they extend out, and then it opens up holes along the back line, and that's where the length and athleticism can really wear on you in these moments if you play with some poise and composure, and San Diego State did a nice job right there.
Cheatham for 2. The Aztecs have been challenged from the free throw line, Sean, this season, less than 70%.
You can make up for deficiencies, though, with effort at the defensive end of the floor. And look at Cheatham, and redshirted last season. I think it benefited him a great deal as far as understanding the system and what's going to be asked of him as his role continues to blossom. I think he's still a little raw offensively, sometimes can get into foul trouble, but he's got superb athleticism. He has the body style that you look at and say, okay, you know what, that's going to translate really well to the future of this program.
Already been in the program 2 years, a foot injury last year, and he had a red shirt. And there's a reach-in foul by Kell. 2:07 to go. Not sure you wanted to see that happen when your team's up a dozen here. Just the 5th team foul against San Diego State. And they still have a few to give here before Georgia Tech is at the line. Yellow Jackets have to hurry. Chasing a dozen. Lost out of bounds, and it's sticking with Georgia Tech.
And no change of possession, 22 seconds on the shot clock. And they're going to look at that again. Steve Fisher came running out and yelled at the officials and said, look at it. And from my vantage point, I think Coach Fisher was right. I think this ball's going to go to San Diego State. And I'm not even looking at the replay yet.
If it happened outside of 2 minutes, they wouldn't be able to, but it gets to 1:59, and we'll have the official review by Kevin Brill, Tommy Nunez, and Larry Spalding.
A difficult vantage point here, but I thought that ball got kicked off of Mitchell after going off of Pope. See what we got here. Well, maybe not.
It's going to be hard for the officials to tell. They have to have conclusive evidence, and the call being that the possession remains Georgia Tech's way.
This is just great. I mean, I love this environment. This is what makes college basketball outstanding. And really what does it is the student body. I think the student body, to me, is the lifeline to the energy of the building. And when the students are up, everybody else gets up. And a great environment consistently here at San Diego State. And you think about the best environments in the West region, there's no surprise, by the way, that San Diego State continually beats almost everybody in the state of California every single year under Steve Fisher, is because, well, how many teams want to come in here and play?
Not many, because since 2008 at home, they're 119 and 12. Ruling is confirmed. Georgia Tech basketball.
Almost 91% of their games in this building since that point they've won.
First ACC team ever to come in here and play the Aztecs. Georgia Tech was in here playing in an NCAA game about 13 years ago. Inside of 2 to go. Lead is a dozen. Smith, pull-up 3 straight away. Off the mark, rebound Allen. Fans can sense New York not too far away.
Actually, New York's really far away.
A trip to New York.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to, I didn't know geographically if you were aware. The other side of the country.
I'm going to send you, like I sent Stan Heath back into coaching, I'm going to send you into insurance sales. All right. 1:31 to go.
You know what? And you see the disappointment on Georgia Tech's face. It was a hard trip to come all the way out here. But San Diego State, in this building, this is what they do.
Wear you down. Allen with 5 to shoot. He lost the handle on it. It comes back to Pope. It's up, and he got it! Now, did they rule this a shot clock violation, however? You get it off in time, I think they're going to go to the monitor and check. But wouldn't that be unbelievable? The way he shot threes, he hasn't even drawn iron.
See the shot clock. That one is away. That's easily away. And there's no doubt about that one.
He was 0 for 4, hadn't even drawn iron, and then is 1 of 5 now for 9 points and a big three that just may have iced it. He might be able to start calling the travel agent right now.
Well, that fan that wore that jersey, it's the first time he's really been able to point to the name on the back and be excited about the performance tonight, but in a big moment, kind of seals the deal, puts him up 15.
Tremendous second half for San Diego State. Three taken by Quentin Shepard. Offensive rebound by Mitchell. He got it blocked.
That's goaltending. Because the hand was through the rim. That's an easy call. Good job.
So no block.
Down the stretch here of this game, though, Georgia Tech, when Brian Gregory took over this program, they had a lot of APR issues. They had to solidify things academically and try to build this program up. Finally getting to the postseason. I think he's done a really nice job with this team. And certainly there's disappointment. Certainly there's disappointment of not getting to the NCAA tournament. I think every coach would acknowledge that that's the ultimate goal. But the way they played and competed here in the NIT, going on the road and winning at South Carolina, and Brian Gregory's team did not quit on him, and they did not quit on their school.
Charles Mitchell doesn't get to play the final 46 seconds of his college career. The departing senior from Atlanta fouls out, but he had a wonderful night. 10 points and 12 rebounds, and that's it for his Georgia Tech career.
He's starting to see the emotion of the big fella. And took great pride. All these guys took pride. They played with pride in the first half. They just wore out in the second half. And as much as I heap the praise upon Brian Gregory for the way he rallied this team and got them going from that 2-8 start in conference play and through now into the NIT. And Steve Fisher, the guy at the other end, remarkable. It's not long ago that he was passing out tickets trying to get people to just come to a game. Now they sell out almost every single night. They're recruiting at a high level. They continue to win at a high level.
And think about how disappointed they were 2 Sundays ago when they didn't get an at-large bid. You know, the whole city could have said, we're giving away our tickets, we're not coming. Instead, they sell out 2 consecutive NIT games, and everybody buys in, and they're 46 seconds away from going to the Garden for the second time in 7 years.
And he's sitting next to his son doing it. And Steve Fisher, one of the really good guys in college basketball, Mountain West Conference Coach of the Year this year.
George's Hunt, step back right of the lane, off the front of the rim, no. Aztecs secure the board, and that's going to do it. Pope is fouled, and the free throws on the other end, but with 28.5 to go, San Diego State's going to be off to the Garden. They'll play Tuesday night against George Washington and have a really good chance to win that game. And have to like the other 3 that are in the NIT. They've got a chance to win this thing.
Well, Mike Lonergan's squad is certainly not going to just allow them to get to the finals. I mean, that was a G-Dub team that beat Virginia earlier this year, has now played its way into Madison Square Garden. The longest trip will be for these Aztecs.
One more.
I think about the potential. It could be an old rivalry game from the old days of the Mountain West Conference. Maybe a BYU versus San Diego State. Not necessarily Jimmer versus Kawhi, but still really good.
That game, that year, 10 and 11, when they were both in the top 5 and playing against each other, was electric. BYU came in here and won it. And took off for the West Coast Conference.
Yeah, 28 wins on the season now for San Diego State. And New York City, get ready for a little California swag.
Shepard will hold, and San Diego State is off to Madison Square Garden They're playing the NIT semifinals against George Washington.
They buckled down defensively in the second half, and offensively, San Diego State, Winston Shepard emerged, was aggressive. Trey Kell had a great first half. Some balance within the scoring overall for San Diego State as they earned their trip to Madison Square Garden.
18 for Kell, 12 for Shepard. A double-double for Malik Pope. He made some big shots at the end. Here's your NIT tournament bracket. The 4 teams headed to the semifinals. BYU, Valparaiso. That's Tuesday, March the 29th, 7 Eastern on ESPN, followed by this game, 9 Eastern, the 2 seed, San Diego State against George Washington. Once again, our final score, San Diego State 72, Georgia Tech 56. For Sean Farnham and our terrific ESPN crew, I'm Steve Quiss, bidding you farewell from San Diego. Coming up next on ESPN2, it's Sports Center from Bristol.
Is Sports Center live?
Russ Smith, NBA DL action tonight. The former Louisville star erupting. 65 points. He had 1 3. 1 3, so he did a lot of damage at the free throw line and from the 2-point line. Russ-diculous, he earned that nickname in college. He was every bit of that tonight. 65 in the NBDL. Coming to an NBA roster near you, maybe.
We hope. Originally property of the Grizz. Sports Center on TV at night. Kevin Connors, John Anderson, thanks for having us. Every team in the NBA has at least 20 losses. The Warriors and Spurs have lost just 17 games combined. Oof. None of them at home. 0.
67-0 between them. Keep in mind, no one team has ever gone unbeaten at home in a single